Israeli soldiers under fire, Hezbollah striking from Lebanon, and now Naftali Bennett is accusing the government of tying the army's hands. As war pressure rises abroad and political pressure builds at home, is Israel heading for a two-front showdown? Israel's political battle over the war in Lebanon has erupted into the open as former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett demanded unrestricted military action and warned that Israeli soldiers are being placed in danger by government limits on the battlefield. In a statement released on Friday afternoon, Bennett said the political echelon must allow the Israel Defense Forces to operate in Lebanon without restraint in order to secure victory. Writing on X, Bennett said he was not willing to accept a situation in which Israeli soldiers in Lebanon were being forced, against their will, to go from hunters to hunted because political leaders were tying their hands.
I am not willing to accept a situation in which IDF soldiers in Lebanon are turned against their will from hunters into the hunted because the political echelon is tying their hands. From conversations and meetings I held with commanders and fighters in the last few days, this is the situation on the ground. Due to very severe restrictions from the political echelon, the forces are fighting with their hands tied behind their backs. Hezbollah terrorists are sitting comfortably in places they know the IDF is forbidden from attacking, and they are launching attacks and explosive drones from there toward our forces. Our heroic soldiers are not ducks at a shooting range. Even if there are international pressures, the role of an Israeli leader is to ensure, above all else, the security of our soldiers and citizens at any cost. Let the IDF win.
His remarks came after an Israeli soldier was killed and another was moderately wounded in a Hezbollah explosive drone attack in southern Lebanon on April 30th. However, IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir praised current Israeli troops during a visit to the 36th Division in southern Lebanon earlier this week. Zamir was accompanied by Northern Command Chief Major General Rafi Milo and Ground Forces Chief Major General Nadav Lotan. Addressing soldiers, Zamir said Israel was in a historic war and described the current generation of troops as the greatest since the 1947 to 1949 War of Independence. He praised brigade and battalion commanders, saying there had been no equal since the generation of 1948. Meanwhile, Bennett has re-entered the political spotlight ahead of elections later this year. In a series of television interviews, following his political alliance with opposition leader Yair Lapid and the Yesh Atid party, Bennett said he would dismiss officials he believes serve political interests rather than the country. He said appointments would be judged by performance, not by the intentions behind them. Without naming individuals, Bennett said he had seen what he called crazy things in the Israel police and warned that the force was becoming political. He also criticized legislation advancing widespread Haredi non-enlistment in the military. Bennett said draft evasion was killing Israeli soldiers and accused the coalition of transferring billions to draft evaders while burdening serving troops. He blamed the government, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying the policy was costing Israel in blood and human life. Bennett also called on opposition figures to unite behind his leadership, saying the Zionist opposition must learn from the ruling coalition's discipline behind Netanyahu. Deep inside a closed military forum, one of Israel's most senior commanders said what few in government dare to: that settlers are terrorizing Palestinians, that the West Bank is a pot about to boil over, and that the miracle keeping it from doing so is running out. Major General Avi Bluth, head of the IDF's Central Command, did not mince words when he addressed the gathering. Bluth called settler attacks on Palestinians what they are: Jewish terrorism, and warned that Palestinian restraint in the face of daily violence was not a permanent condition.
When houses are burned while their occupants are inside, it's called Jewish terrorism. It's almost a miracle that the Palestinians are still indifferent to the phenomenon. They won't remain indifferent indefinitely.
Bluth had already taken his concerns to the top, briefing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Security Cabinet on what he saw as a slow-burning crisis in the West Bank. Palestinian terror levels are low, he told them, but the calm is deceptive. Settlers wounded in so-called price tag attacks, extremist Jewish reprisals against Palestinians, had gone on to carry out attacks of their own, cause and effect playing out in real time. The men driving this violence, in Bluth's telling, are not hardened militants. They are fringe anarchist youth from wildcat outposts, uncoordinated with the state, convinced they are heroes. He met some of them and was not impressed.
Is that deterrence? It's ridiculous because they went into another village. I speak with them, and they aren't particularly polite people. They tell me, we're the heroes of David. All of Israel's deterrence is thanks to us. This is delusional. You have to meet these people yourself. They are not at a high level. They are causing unimaginable damage to Israel and to the Zionist project.
Then came the courts. Over 3 nights in January, more than 100 settlers burned houses and vehicles across Palestinian villages. 5 were caught. A judge gave them 3 days of house arrest. Within 72 hours, they were out and attacking border police.
These people don't see Arabs as human beings and think it's possible to burn people alive, to burn houses down with their occupants inside. And unfortunately, they do this frequently. They've decided they are erasing the shame of the Oslo Accords. It's a disgrace to the Jewish people. I'm quite ashamed of this whole thing.
Bluth also mentioned an incident in which settlers burned IDF identification equipment in the settlement of Beit El to avoid being identified while on their way to torch Palestinian homes in the nearby village of Turmus Ayya.
They burned security equipment meant to protect against terrorists coming out against them. So who exactly were they taking revenge on?
Bluth reserved particular frustration for Defense Minister Israel Katz's decision to ban administrative detention for Jewish suspects, a move he said had left the military without the tools it needed. The IDF has itself faced repeated accusations of standing by during settler attacks, and in some cases of soldiers participating. Bluth acknowledged as much. The army, he said, does not collect intelligence on Israeli citizens, only Palestinians.